back to Brandon Sports Talk, everybody. The most unbiased opinion in sports. Now, before I get into the Miami Heat and why they should trade for Westbrook, I just want to let you guys know, in case you guys did not know, Paul George got traded to the Clippers from Oklahoma City. They traded Daniel Gallinari, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and some draft picks to Oklahoma City to get Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard has teamed up with Paul George. Now, why do I think the Miami Heat should trade for not only Westbrook, also Steven Adams and Terrence Ferguson? And here's why: because the money has to add up, which I think, because I don't think if the Miami Heat do trade for him, I don't think they're going to have the salary cap space. To me, it was a report that the Oklahoma City Thunder were looking to trade Dennis Schroeder, Steven Adams, and Andre Robinson. They was ready. They wanted to trade three of those guys. They were up on the trade before free agency started. Now, if that was true, if that report was true, then this is the easiest trade that Oklahoma City can get. Now, I know people are going to say the Miami Heat have no draft picks. They can't trade any draft picks. They can't do it because they basically traded away a lot of their second round picks and a lot of their first round picks too, which years ago and currently, they traded away a lot. So first, we're going to start off with Russell Westbrook's contract. Now, Russell Westbrook's contract for this year alone, this upcoming season, shall I say, is $38,506,482. Now, that's for this coming season. That's just 1 year. The total contract, including a play option for the fourth year, is $171,139,920. That's the 4 years that he has left on his contract. Steven Adams' contract in total is $53,370,787 for 2 years. $25,842,697 for this upcoming season. That's the total. The $25 million is for this season. Now, Terrence Ferguson is $2,475,840 in total for this upcoming season as well. If you add all of those numbers up together, it gives you $66,825,019. Why is this important? Because I think after the period of time where all the trades go through, all the free agents go through, now I think you have to match the salaries, or Miami Heat can't go over their salary cap by acquiring somebody. So I have the list of players who I think that the Miami Heat should trade away to acquire Westbrook and Steven Adams. Now, if you move on to the Miami Heat, so I added all those contracts up. If you move to the Miami Heat, James Johnson has $15,129,400 left on his contract. Justice Winslow also has $13 million on his contract. Dion Waiters has $12,100,000 on his contract. Kelly Olynyk has $11,667,886 on his contract. Eddie Adebayo, I don't know how to say his name, forgive me if I don't, he's a center, $3,454,080 on his contract left. And Myers Leonard, who got traded from Portland to this team in the offseason to acquire Jimmy Butler, it was a 3-team trade, $11,286,517. Now, on their contracts, James Johnson has 2 years with the player option. So this year and the next year will be a player option. Justice Winslow has 2 years with the club option, which means next year, if the club decides not to pick it up, he will be a free agent. To what I've seen online, they have not picked it up yet. Now, Kelly Olynyk has 2 years with the player option as well, so he's on the contract this year, player option for next year. Edris, I think that's how you say it, Ablaya, like I said, if I don't say the name right, forgive me. He has 2 years left with a club option, which means, and it was exercised, so that means he's going to be on the contract for next season as well. Not as this upcoming season and next season. And also, Myers Leonard, this is the last year of his $11 million deal. Now, if you add all of those contracts up together, it's $66,637,883. Now, you add those up, what I said before with Oklahoma City, $66,825,019. Then with Miami Heat, $66,637,883 altogether. Now, the difference in that contract is over $200,000. I guess that if the Miami Heat does this trade with the Oklahoma City Thunder, I guess the Miami Heat would have to come up with another $200,000 if to cover the full trade, or if the NBA let it slide. I don't know, but they can say, you know what, hey, we'll send you guys these players and cash considerations with this trade. Now, why is this trade to me important and why Miami should do it? Because Oklahoma City is rebuilding. And by the way, the reason why, before I get to that, the reason why Goran Dragic is not included in this trade is because the Oklahoma City Thunder already have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and they have Dennis Schroeder as point guards. If you get Goran Dragic, that would be 3 point guards. Dennis Schroeder, he's not at the 2. You could put him at the 2 if he's out there. Let's say this season, if they don't do the trade, he's out there with Westbrook. You could put him 1 and 2, whatever. Shai Gilgeous, Alexander Westbrook, whatever. But the main point is that it would be too many point guards, and Goran Dragic would want to play. So my thing is, you would trade the power forward, another small forward. James Johnson's a power forward. Justice Winslow's a small forward. Shooting guard Dion Waiters. Kelly Olynyk is a power forward, and then it would be 2 centers with Leonard and Adebayo. That's how I say his name. Like I said, forgive me if I didn't say his name right. Now, trading those positions, they already maxed out at point guard. Once Miami Heat acquires these guys, you would have Russell Westbrook at point guard, Goran Dragic as the backup point guard. He has, by the way, a 1 year deal worth $19,273,900 left on his contract. So it's only 1 year to eat up that number for this year, unless they trade him to another team later on this summer. But right now, in my opinion, the Miami Heat need to jump on this trade right now. If they are interested, they need to grab Steven Adams as well. You can't let Steven Adams stay there. They're trying to rebuild, and if I'm Steven Adams, I ask for a trade. If I can go to Miami with Westbrook and Jimmy Butler, that would be good. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, how do you know it's going to work? Well, Russell Westbrook and Jimmy Butler have their same no-nonsense attitude. Let's work and let's get going and let's win some games. They both have that same work ethic and attitude that will be needed for them to get along on this team. And by the way, before I get into the later part of the video, I also want to say spotrac.com for all the contract information. I think it's called spotrac.com, spotrac.com for all the contract information that I did gather for this video. Now, after the Miami Heat would acquire this trade from the Oklahoma City Thunder, the reason why it would be beneficial for Oklahoma City to do this trade, because the contracts will be in equal value, and also the contracts, all these contracts that I've read will expire in 2 years. If you pick up a player option, it's only 1 more year, and then after that, they can rebuild with the draft picks that they have. Because after next year, you probably deny Justice Winslow's club option. Their center Adebayo, like I said, forgive me if I didn't say his name right. His contract is up. His contract, the club option was picked up, and you have 2 other players, Kelly Olynyk and James Johnson, with player options in their contract. So it's not like it's going to be for a long stretch. The contracts are 3 and 4 years. It's not going to be that long of a contract for them to do. Now, when the Miami Heat acquire Westbrook and Steven Adams, what should they do? You have Westbrook at the point, Jimmy Butler at small forward, and Steven Adams at center. What should they do if they acquire these players? There's a lot of free agents that are available that can come to this team and help fill up the team. You may have to go over the cap this year to bring in some veteran minimum guys and bring in certain guys. And I have the free agency list right here with, you can be able to bring in A.V. Bradley. You could bring in a Dwight Howard to be a backup because he's obviously not going to start. He can be a backup. You could bring in Andre Iguodala if he gets brought out by Memphis. Marcus Morris is taken. You could bring in a Jabari Parker. Rajon Rondo is gone. You could bring in a Jamal Crawford if you like. You could bring in a Carmelo Anthony. You could bring in different guys to come off the bench. Bring in some veterans to come off the bench and help Miami win and contend for a playoff spot. Having said that, looking at the playoffs last year, Milwaukee is going to make the playoffs. That's one team. Philadelphia is going to be the second team. Boston 3, Indiana 4, and Brooklyn 5. Those are 5 teams that are automatically going to make the playoffs next year. So you have 3 teams left. Toronto, Orlando, and Detroit. For me, in my opinion, I think Toronto will still make the playoffs even though they did lose Kawhi Leonard. And also, you have Orlando and Detroit. Now, the Miami Heat can be a top 5 seed in this conference, in Eastern Conference, if they acquire this trade. Now, I know you guys are probably wondering, those are not in order that I'm listening by who will win how many games. I'm just listening to teams. Those 5 teams are a guaranteed lock. To me, Miami would be the 6th team that would be guaranteed lock. So who will be bounced out? Which team will be bounced out? Would it be Orlando or would it be Detroit that would be knocked out? That's for you guys to decide in the comment sections down below. But for me, in my opinion, I gave you guys all the salaries that would match up to get Westbrook. Oklahoma City will probably be hesitant, like I said, to get this trade done because there's no draft picks involved. But you got 5 draft picks from the Clippers, and you got enough players from the draft and the Miami Heat to still put fans in the seats and still be able to sell tickets for the franchise and say that, okay, we're in a rebuild, but we do have veteran players and we'll still be not a contender, but we'll still be at least decent. We could probably win at least 38 games for the next 2 years, 38, maybe 40 games for the next 2 years, and then we'll start our full rebuild, but we will have veterans to go along with these young players as well. So with that being said, let me know how you guys feel in the comment section down below. if the Miami Heat should do this trade, I think they should. Westbrook, Jimmy Butler, and Steven Adams, and you bring in some veteran players to come together to be able to help out this Miami Heat franchise get back on track. Because listen, the Miami Heat days with LeBron, Dwayne Wade going against Boston and Brooklyn and all these teams in Indiana, not Brooklyn because they wasn't really making the playoffs before that. But when LeBron got there, they got Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and all those guys. Made the playoffs. They was going against those teams. But for me, the Miami Heat should trade for these guys because it would bring their franchise back up. Other veterans would probably be interested in coming back playing. Veterans who actually take their job seriously, and have a no-nonsense attitude. There's not a lot of guys like that in the league, but for me, in my opinion, I think that the Miami Heat will be solid ground. They will probably be a top 5 seed in this division. It's the Eastern Conference. It's the Eastern Conference for a reason. Like I said, you'll make it even better, and you'll be able to compete. Westbrook will be able to compete. Steven Adams and Jimmy Butler, you'll be helping him out tremendously with this trade. And before we get out of here, guys, I just want to say that the background I'm using behind me, the link will be in the description down below to the website of where I found this background, just in case if a lot of people like to have backgrounds. I always give a shout out. I always put in the description of who backgrounds I am using to give them their credit. So I just want to let you guys know, if you want to use a background or get a background like this, I will put the link will be in the description down below. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back with more videos. Until next time, thank you for watching. Peace.